All righty. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the King's Table. I am your gracious and most precious host, Ambassador Sheldon Byron. I'm so grateful to be able to join you this evening on this special featured segment. I am so honored right now. I can't even explain how honored I am, to be truthful, to have these gracious, inspirational, dynamic, empowering, intelligent, sophisticated, woman with me this evening. I am so grateful to have them joining us for this interview. And as we proceed, I'm going to ask you kindly as you join us, please do us the kind favor and share this broadcast with your loved ones, with your friends. Please feel free to invite someone in and share as we're about to embark on a journey, on a conversation that is going to take you and allow you to soar with us on eagle's wings tonight. How about that? Come on up. Let's take you up. Let's take you beyond the norm of where you were, where you are presently, and allow you to join in our experiences as we have had the privilege to join the most brilliant mind I know of a woman, a globalist, a serial entrepreneur, and one who continues to advocate for women in the kingdom, who has joined us into such a great and marvelous movement, that of no other than Dr. Lovella Mogere, who is the chief author of this product called The Woman for Women. Whoa, let's give her a round of applause right there. Yippee! We're celebrating this chief architect, this one woman who continues to knit women together and bring us into such a pool of authorship. We are so thankful to you for this moment and even to be able to share, this special experience with you, just to say. I can imagine she will be in the audience just now, right? So you guys better buckle up and know. You getting me? So we want to give total kudos for her for bringing out this. I think this is probably the second anthology I've been with her. This is for Woman, a devotional for women who soar. And here with me are three of the co-authors who have, shared their experiences, who have put their expertise in their skill set, who have allowed you to tap into their revelatory spaces, especially when they sit in communion with the Father, when they open up their spirit, their soul, and their mind before His presence, before His counsel. Woo! I feel Jesus right there already. You hear me? Praise the Lord. When they sit within the chamber, within His courts, and allow His heart to permeate their heart, His mind to permeate their minds, His spirit to permeate their spirit. They're going to bring you into this intimacy tonight. And as they allow you to hear their voices and the amplification, their sound, their frequency in this space, I trust that you will truly be inspired, be encouraged, be filled up to the capacity where your journey, as you share in the space of your communion yourself, that you will experience nothing less but that space where you will soar beyond degree, even into the supernatural dimensions, even to visitations beyond your wildest expectation tonight. Amen. Somebody right there. So, ladies, gentlemen, let me welcome you to this forum tonight, all of you in the audience, and thank you for joining us right now, right here in this station at the King's Table. Thank you so much. So let me introduce one by one. I'll give them the privilege to introduce themselves, mind you. So I'm going to start with Dr. Varenda Williams. Please introduce yourself to the audience.
Well, greetings and salutations to everyone. Ambassador, let me say thank you so much for the opportunity to engage in dialogue in this digital space. I am Dr. Varenda Williams. Those that are close to me refer to me as Dr. V. I am several things. I am an entrepreneur. I am the proud CEO of V's Bling Boutique, where $5 bling is a beautiful thing. I am also a veteran educator, mathematics professor. I'm an amazing auntie godmother. Yes, I am. And of course, a veteran educator. A plethora of things, but I think the most important thing is I am Abba's daughter. I belong to him. When all of this is gone and the smoke clears, I'm Abba's daughter, and I'm proud of that more than anything. So it's a blessing to be here.
Wow. Thank you so much for being here with us. Minister Libra, please introduce
Good
yourself.
evening to all. Thank you for this honor and this opportunity to be on this platform with you all. Gracious women of God. I am Libra P. Green. I'm here in Dallas, Texas. I'm originally was born in New Boston, Texas, but I'm here in Dallas. I am an entrepreneur. I am a publisher of Soul to Soul Publishing House, where I help individuals to define the moment and also write the vision, live their story. I am currently still in pursue counseling. I'm a licensed chemical dependency counselor and a certified anger resolution therapist, where I help individuals coming out on parole to help them transition from prison to prosperity. So, in retrospect of that, I have been doing it for 8 years in the social services field, but my calling is into writing and publishing and helping other individuals to write their story and also tell their story in different arenas, platforms, whatever their purpose in life
Mhm.
is. And I am a licensed minister. I am a proud member of Bridge Builders International Church, which is located in Arlington, Texas. I serve in different ministries in that arena as well. So it's just an honor to actually go into purpose and allow purpose to be fulfilled, which I should have been doing in the past 5 years. But nevertheless, I'm here now, so I just thank you for Dr. Mogere for giving me this opportunity to be a part of this gracious
Mhm.
endeavor to be a part of this book, this Women for Women devotional, which pursued me to allow myself to start writing again. So this is just the pivot for me to go ahead and do what I have been assigned to do. I am also a godmother. I already have three. I just pursue being a godmother again to this gracious 3 year old, and that
Mhm.
keeps me on my toes, by the way. But other than that, I am just grateful that God still uses me because He doesn't have to. I count it an honor and a privilege to serve, and serving is just the heart of me, the pursuit of God, the
Wow.
will of God, the enablement of God, because He gives me strength to serve. So I'm just
Mhm.
honored just to be here.
Alrighty, thank you so much. We appreciate you being here as well. And Lady Precious, last but not least. I think your mic is muted.
Okay. Sorry about that. Thank you so much for having me.
Mhm.
I'm very appreciative and thankful for the privilege. I am Precious Swain Peaks.
Mhm.
Um, the Father, the Most High, is everything to me. And because of him, I am the owner of Anointed for Prosperity Bookkeeping and More, which is an accounting firm that also does prepares taxes, of course. I am the founder of Swain Girl Media, which is a publishing company not just for books, but for music and film also, in
Mhm.
which we have now 5 channels on Roku and Firestick. And that is me. I'm a mom of 7 adult children,
Mhm.
29 grandchildren, and about 12 godchildren that are also grown. So
Mhm.
there's no 3 year olds unless it's a grand, and it's quite a few of them. But I am very thankful for the opportunity to be able to come onto the platform and speak with everyone.
Wow. I am most humbled and honored to have all of you. Thank you so much, ladies, for such brilliant introductions of yourself. I do appreciate that. But to kick us off this evening, I know we are going to tap into your chapters, etc. But I'm going to ask each of you specifically, and I'm glad we have three of us so that we can have a rounded, balanced conversation. We can have that extra echo on the inside of us tonight. So we're going to take our time. We're going to go one question at a time. Alrighty? So we're going to have this ball reeling real good tonight. Alrighty? So with this whole aspect to the anthology, the Woman for Woman, a devotional for women who sow, I'm going to ask you this specific question. what really, intrigued you to say yes to this anthology? What was the main thing that caused you to say yes? Any one of you can answer one by one.
Well, I say for me, what actually push, promote, and propel me to finally say yes to this trilogy, it was the fact that um, I needed to get back into writing. I needed to get back into the passion of writing. It's not like I stopped writing. I just pressed pause. I didn't hit
Mm-hmm.
stop. But I really just needed to get back into it because this was like the needed healing process for me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, for those who don't know the story regarding me recently, I lost both of my parents within 8 months apart from September 28, 2001, and then May 28, 2001. And my mother was a writer. She's got all these documentaries and things in that nature. And that's why I believe the mantle fell on me to write. But
Mm-hmm.
I hadn't really just engaged into writing. So when the assignment was due November 15th of last year, to me, that was a push for me to write it
Mm-hmm.
because the 16th of November would have been my parents' 48th year anniversary. So
Mm-hmm.
for me, what challenged me to finally say yes to do it was just that. I believe it was a sense, it was something rewarding to me personally to do,
Mm-hmm.
but it was also something that I believe that was part in honor of them because it was just something that I needed to do to get me out of the state I was in mentally, more
Mm-hmm.
so cognitively, if you will.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's good. I like how you say to keep you in that space cognitively.
Yeah.
And I may just piggyback on that just before I allow the other two ladies. The reason why I tap that question is sometimes we, in the space and in the time when we are challenged, we may not always have a yes. Let's be real. We may not always have a yes immediately. And therefore that whole reason behind why we are trusted or challenged or given opportunity to rise again, so to speak, may be the very pivotal thing that cause us to really recognize, listen, there is something extra there, there is something more I can do, even though let's say for instance, even though I'm caught in a space of pain like you just expressed. I mean, do I really want to do this? Do I really have the stamina for this right now? And it's easy to lean into the varying aspects of our emotionalism rather than recognizing that even through our pain, glory can be revealed. Are you getting me? Even through our pain, someone else can hear our breakthrough, how we come through, how this has aided us. And sometimes these are the very therapeutic things we need for ourselves. Are you getting me? So that we can really find balance and we can find focus and we can actually have that grace to move on. Alrighty. So I just wanted to tap that in there and thank you for that, especially when you refer to that cognitive space in us, because cognitively we are challenged right there to reason out that space, that time where we
Mhm.
are and where we are caught, to recognize, if do I want to do this, do I really want to give that extra push. Are you getting what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And sometimes it's in the reasoning we recognize, listen, I have opportunity.
Right.
You getting me? I have opportunity,
Mhm.
and that opportunity might be more than what we anticipate, especially when we say yes. So let me proceed further right there. And I'm going to allow Lady Precious to have the second say on this. What made you say yes?
I needed to. I
Mm-hmm.
was in a place where everyone else is like, you do this and you do that and you're really doing this, but I didn't feel like I was soaring.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I looked around me, I knew I was doing something. I wasn't landed, I wasn't on the ground. But mentally, even when we appear to have it all together, sometimes we don't.
Mm-hmm.
And so I have, of my 7 kids, I have 4 daughters. And so I'm around young women all the time who don't think that they can soar. And so, in realizing the reasons that people feel like they can't or they haven't accomplished, because one of my issues was it took a long time for me to overcome the things I had been through as a child. And when I looked up and said, wait a second, P, you're 53 years old. You're not a child anymore. Those ties have been severed. Those bridges have been burnt long ago. And here you are hovering off the ground like an eagle, yet you still feel like you're not soaring. And so I had to stop and let it not be about me, but the other young women who probably go through worse, but don't even know the Father to know that they can soar. And so that's what made me say yes and talk about what I talked about, because no matter what we've been through or what we think, we're not damaged goods. We can soar at all times. And sometimes it just takes someone pushing you out of the nest or pointing down so you can look and realize you're not even in the nest. You're flying and you don't think you are, to get you to do that. And so that was why I gave my yes.
All righty. Appreciate that. Dr. V.
Basically, in a nutshell, when the opportunity presented itself, I literally went through the same mental questioning, Ambassador, that you mentioned earlier. Do I really have time for this? I've got this going on. I've got this going on. This is in front of me. And just very, as just like a father would do his children, Holy Spirit just said, okay, Varenda, here's the deal. The mission, the mandate supersedes and overrides your mood about this project.
Wow. Wow.
So you have a decision. You either go with, because I'm a gentleman. I'm not going to just bust in on you and say, do this. I'm going to leave you with the decision. You either get with the movement or you can remain in your current mood and mindset in this moment. So make that decision. And so I said, okay, girl, get over it. Come on here, because the masses, it's all about the masses. It's not even about your mood. It's about the masses. It's about the mission. It's about the mandate. So, yeah. So that's what drove me to say yes to the project.
Wow. Well, guess what? I'm so glad all of you said yes. Because I'm sure for those who are in the audience with us, and let me take just a second here to say to them, welcome to the King's Table. This is a special featured segment interview with some of the co-authors for Woman, a devotional for women who soar. Alrighty. So I'm going to welcome all of you with us. And as you tap in, as you listen, yeah, please do. You can ask your questions if you have one, just the same at the bottom. Please just write it in the comment box so that I can make that obvious notification of it. Okay. Alrighty. So I'm grateful, ladies, that you said yes. And in the whole idea, I'm going to tap into this yes really, really good. So follow me, okay? In the eyes of what yes speaks to and the relevance to what yes has to say, even to women globally. And I'm not looking at women in just a specific sphere or in a specific location, because this book goes beyond territories, beyond, dimensions. This book goes for the masses, as Dr. V just mentioned. So when you look into your yes, based on the space where you were, as you just described, all of you already, and the moment that had to allow you to step into the experience of where you are, along with writing the very chapters that you did. You get what I'm saying? You see the connection here? So you're moving into the yes, into the belly of the yes, so to speak, because your yes has produced something here in this chapter which became relevant out of the experience you had at the same time. Regardless to if you were down, you were out, you didn't feel like doing it, and your emotions was just all over the place, and Jesus had to come and say, hey, yo, get it together. You get what I'm saying? You had to pull your socks up. You had to pull your, when we try to play all that and the big bag of chips sometimes, and Jesus just had to give us, hey, wake up. Come on now. Get yourself together. You got to do this. You get what I'm saying? Focus now. So in that lens, in that eye, I want you to take some time and tap into your chapters and take us through that experience when you say yes. Take us through that space where you were into the space of you now pending this chapter. What is it like for each of you? Precious, you can go first. Lady Precious, yeah, come on, press the button.
For me, the yes kind of started with a no. I had to, my first thing I needed to talk about was why. Because that's what our question is. All of us, no matter how dignified we seem in public, when we're at home alone and broken down, it's the why. Why?
Come on.
Why did I lose this? Why did this happen? Why me? You know what I mean? And so having had a heroin addicted mother and an incarcerated father, my question was always, why? Why couldn't I get some other parents? Why couldn't I get this or that? And so then I had to face the why not? Why not you? Why do you think you're so good that you deserve anything other than what I gave you? You know what I mean? What sets you apart? And so then I had to face how it actually, despite how bad it was, prepared me for where I am now.
Wow.
So I had to face had I never experienced a bad parent, I may have never known how to be a good parent. Because there's no example of what not to do unless you've experienced something that shouldn't have been done. You know what I mean? How it gave me a sense of, because society works to drive us apart. Women are not supposed to collaborate. We're supposed to be in competition with one another. But having experienced all the things I went through with my mother gave me the openness to say, mother figures are very important to little girls. Society says the father is really important to little girls. They are. I'm not taking that from them, but so are we. And so what we pour out or don't pour out determines how they flow, because no matter what we say, they do what they see, not necessarily what they hear. And so based on what I had seen, I didn't drink, I didn't smoke marijuana, I didn't do all the things that some people do growing up, because I saw the true ramifications of what drugs can do, not just to the person who's getting high's life, but to their children and the generations of people around them that is impacted by what they're doing. And some people don't realize, they think it only impacts the person doing it, but it does not. It impacts generations. It impacts generations.
Wow.
So in identifying this, that's what helped me come to the foundation of my yes. The foundation of my yes. I specifically knew in my head, you are not the only person who has gone through this. There are younger children now going through this with parents on harder drugs, different drugs. There are children that are unprotected because the person who's supposed to protect them is high.
Wow.
So there are now young women who don't think they have worth because they've been touched as a child, molested as a child, raped as a child. And so now internally they feel damaged. And when you feel like you have no worth, then you carry yourself in a worthless manner. So what do? Now they go and they're just giving it away, and they're just half naked everywhere, and they don't really care about education. And then that trickles down to their children most of the time. And so as I'm mentally seeing all of this, the yes becomes stronger. The yes
Come
because
on.
I'll be honest and tell you, there were a few times I started to say, you know what, I'm gonna have to back out because time just isn't gonna let me do this. And the
Mm-hmm.
Father was like, no, 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 no. I give you time. I determine your time. You don't really determine your
Mm.
time. Because
Mm.
I can say tomorrow you have no more time and you won't get up and do anything.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, hold on. This may be the last opportunity I have to
Mm-hmm.
make a difference in the lives of someone other
Mm-hmm.
than myself.
Wow.
Yes, I have to do this because everything was in vain that I went through. If I
Mm-hmm.
don't use it to help empower and
Mm-hmm.
lift up somebody else.
Wow.
And
I'm
so
so
that,
glad you said that, and you took us into your foundation for your yes. I'm glad you took us into the idea of that whole foundational element, that template that begin to curtail, and articulate and bring you into the design of your yes. And I am going there, ladies, because I want you to understand that your yes holds so much more, that even in the woman right now, and if you notice, I'm thinking through because I'm seeing some stuff why I'm going to this degree, okay? There are ladies here who are going to be touched by the tangibility of your yes, the essence of your yes, the fragrance of your yes, the aroma of your yes. They're going to be touched by the depth of your yes. And by allowing their eyes to peer into your yes, it now begins to aid them in the navigation of their faith, in channeling them to such a space where even where they found fault with themselves, they found it difficult to even say yes. Let me try this. Let me give it a go. Let me give it a shot. Let me see how this is going to work out. And there are many people who are stuck at saying yes right now, even in this audience, regardless to how far we are, regardless to how much we've achieved, how much we've accomplished. I mean, it's all well and good when we can look at our accolades and we can count, the different spaces of our success. But when we have a yes that goes deeper than to unplug us from out of the dormancy spaces where we have not been tapped. Like, for instance, I'll share this and I'll go to the next person. I remember when Dr. Mogere invited me on the platform to do the article for, she gonna crack up right here, right? For, I think it was leaders who lead differently. And she found me in a space where, listen, yeah, I was like, my face was like, why are you coming to harass me right now in this space right here? I don't want to be bothered about writing. Woman, could you please just go to the next person? I know in my space, it's not that my ink was dried or it lacked capacity or any sense of having fullness in it. But it's just that because of where I was when I did my first book, which is called The Woman in Me. I mean, after it being published in, I think it was 2014 April, and I had the launch in 2014 August. And what I went through with that one book and the experience of pain I had, I didn't want my well to be tapped again. Seriously. I just allowed it to be dormant for such a long time. As much as I had written so many poems after, poems that I never even posted. Some of them you'll find on my profile page, yes, but there were spaces when I did not say yes. That yes had a critical blow because I did not allow me to give myself permission into that yes at all for years. You get what I'm saying? So I had myself locked in such a vault. Not that I couldn't write, not that I wasn't an author already. It wasn't that my ink was dried up or anything, but because of what I've been through with the spaces where finances was so, well, let's not go there. That was one of the hardest spaces I've experienced in the whole, arena of self-publication. I had no idea. I was a freshman into this space. And when you don't have the right people around you who can direct you, who can help you, and allow you to be navigated so that your yes can produce the greatest fruit. Oof, see that part right there? I was stuck because I did not got the opportunity to see the true fruit or fruitfulness of that product. Not that it didn't bear fruit, but it was not fruit to any great degree per se. Are you getting me? It was more sacrificial than fruitful. You hear? Okay. Alrighty. I'm gonna leave that right there because this space of saying yes and the foundational elements to your yes is so critical right now. And I want to help women here to begin to break the barrier or the ceilings. You might have people here telling you, oh, you can't do this and you can't that. Oh, that project is too high for you. And I'm sorry, but you're not going to make it over there. And people who downplay your intelligence, your capacity, your potential, people who just look at you with one eye, don't even know half of the hell you've been through. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes we give into these spaces or these thought patterns that diffuse us or cause our lack thereof to say yes be escalated into time and space where we in ourselves end up with the deficits. Are you getting me? So I just really wanted us to tap there. I'm going to go to, yes, Dr. V. I'm going to allow you to come in right here.
As Precious was expounding upon the foundation of her yes, several things was just popping up. I think one of the things that we as women must understand and realize is I'm thinking of the scripture where Jesus is feeding the 5,000. And of course, not including the women and the children, but that's another story for another day. But there's a part in there we need to understand. It says Jesus took the bread, took it, took the fish, he blessed it, he broke it, and just started feeding the masses. What we have to understand, and I think one of the foundations to my yes is simply Holy Spirit always reminding me, Varenda, at the end of the day, the experiences that I allow you to walk through, those experiences, that's your breaking so that you can feed the masses. That feeding comes through several ways. It comes through testimonies. It comes through sharing wisdom. It comes through a written project that touches and makes not just an imprint, but an external, eternal impact on not just women right now, but women down the line. So this is a transcendental thing. So you have to remember, you belong to me. And so with that being said, your life is not your own. You've been bought with a price. That whole 1 Corinthians thing, that is like the premise of my yes. Because when I said yes to you, and then the yes doesn't stop there. You have to say yes to the call, which is different from saying yes to the mandate, which is different from saying yes to the mission, which is different from saying yes to the assignment. So each one of those requires a different magnitude and frequency of yes from within you to the Father. And so if we just have to always keep that in mind, that we belong to him no matter what. And so, so when the assignment comes up, of course, we're going to come to him with, okay, do I really have time for this? I mean, God, are you kidding me? I've got this, I've got this, I've got this project, and then work is crazy. And then, I've got business to run. And I mean, really, like, I'm back with what Precious said. Where's the time? And he's
Mhm.
like, excuse me, hello. I'm the one that created time. Okay, hello. Let's reel this back. Who you're
Come on.
talking to? Okay, you're talking to me. You know, you're talking to the one that could do something about redeeming time.
Mhm.
So that was pretty much the foundation and the premise behind my yes. Just that continual reminder that our lives, every part of our lives, are not
Wow.
our own. We don't call the shots. He does. Yeah.
Ooh, we don't call the shots. He does. I like the part where you express the thought, we've been brought with a price. And more than anything else, the latter part to it is that I'm trying to remember the lining that you use. Oh yes, your yes doesn't stop there. You see that part right there? Your yes. And I'll emphasize this point and add to the equation of what you said. Sometimes our yes, despite the circumference of all that is around us, the frequency of all that is around us, despite the turbulence, the thunder, the lightning, the shakings, and all of the elements that could be awakened to the degree that that yes may be feeling the tremor effects of its birthing space. That yes may be feeling, that uncertainty, that uncharted waters, that space where you don't know your left from your right, but all you know in the eye of that yes, there is something that holds a merit to what is greater than what you see, what you believe, what you think, what you perceive. And in every voice that echoes to that yes, oh no, you can't do it. Oh no, you can't be this. That yes is let me put this, like when you have a balloon, right? And you start blowing it up. One of a time. That yes begin to have that effect of a balloon in the elasticity. And all of a sudden, you reach to a point where that yes hits its pivotal space. Are you get what I'm saying? And there is not a thought in your head that says deny the yes, but birth what is in the yes. Are you get what I'm saying? And this is why I'm agreeing with you, Dr. V. Your yes doesn't stop there. Your yes stops when you answers back yes. Are you get what I'm saying? Your yes stops or is given the answer or that clarification to what has to yield or cause you to enter into that space where the yes holds the expansion, the yes holds the amplification or the extension, the elasticity. That yes brings you into a yielding capacity because you have to enter in knowing that that yes is going to not just give you the success at the end or the results, but it holds that stands and stand to the fact that everything else that spoke before, they have no. Listen, oh my God, I know I'm going with this,
Yeah. Yeah.
Everything else that happened before, like all of a sudden, everything is obliterated by the wind effect that your yes answered to. It's
Exactly.
almost like in the breath of your yes, you hear the echo of the rock, like
Mm-hmm.
woof, and everything that thought that yes could have been denied, eliminated, everything that could have bring even the determination on that yes, all of a sudden by that yes answering to yes.
Yeah. Yeah. And that yes also
Come
opens up the
on.
door. That yes also positions you to a greater level of credibility
Come on.
in the spirit.
Yeah. Oh,
Particularly, I'm going to go here, in
come
the
on.
presence of your haters. Okay.
Ooh,
It gives that. I mean, I never was a fighter in
come
school.
on.
Okay. But a lot of my classmates that were, you
Uh-huh.
don't know what you're capable of. You
Mhm.
don't know how well you can fight until you
Wow.
get in a fight.
Come on.
And there's nothing like, now I have witnessed some fights in my time now, but there's nothing like, when the underdog, has gotten the victory and has, whooped the bully down to the white meat,
Come on.
and what that says to not only the person, but to those that are witnessed the fight was, we can't mess with him. We can't mess with her, And so, so it establishes credibility in the spirit and credibility, naturally as well. Yeah.
Oh, come
so
on.
basically, your haters are like, oh, yeah.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
I agree, Dr. B. That is no. You hit a salient point. That is so true. Because remember, in the I know how provocative I can be here. Dr. B, you see, you stirred me on. Alrighty. Because the truth is, in the whole, that's why I said I'm taking you into the eye of your years, the foundation of your years, but to draw out from what was behind, to establish, that space of sight for those who are listening, those who want to understand our journey, our experience, those who want to glean from the wisdom, those who want to glean from our faith. Because a lot of times, I'm going to be honest, Dr. V, Lady Precious, Lady Green, we don't like people to touch our scars. We don't like people to touch our wounds. We don't like people to feel like Jesus with the woman who touched the hem of a garment. And he said, who touched me? You get what I'm saying? Which means Jesus was able to feel the tangibility, the essence of her touch. How deep was that touch that it brought me to recognize that Jesus was asking the question, hello, who touched me? That was not, many times we preach this thing and we echo this like if it is a slight touch, it's just a way by the side touch. It wasn't. For Jesus to ask the question, who touched me? And this is the space of the question I want us to truly answer, or to have a more solid or rounded conversation in, because it's easy to say yes at times, especially when you can already calculate the results. Let me put it like that. But it's even more deeper and harder to say yes when you are uncertain, when you are on uncharted waters and your faith is beckoning you beyond where you were, where you've experienced, beyond where you have not even seen the last version of the enemies you see in front of you. You get what I'm saying? And that, yes, as you said, I'm going to tap in this space right here, and then I'm going to Lady Green after, where you said, your yes, this is where you really realize the depth of your yes, especially when you hit on the point where it brings credibility to your haters. Like, oh, that bully got a good whack. That bully got a good beat down. Listen, that devil, that demon who came after me, oh, Jesus, he was slayed to the ground. Listen, I know I can be bad on that part right there. When you really got a good victory over the devil, some of those hierarchical witches, warlocks, and those space up there that think they could come into your territory and tell you who you are when you know who you are by the authority and the blood of Jesus. And listen, you kick that demon to the curve, really in the curve of the hurt, where it aches really good. And you come out with a good glory praise. Oh, Jesus! You know how we behave, right? Listen. And then the next morning you get up, you hear, listen, this is how you know you have credibility with your haters. When the whole neighborhood could watch you the next day and say, oh my God, I heard this. And the news bulletin is like, and like, oh my God, you did that. Oh my goodness. Did you whip him that bad? The next morning you go back to school and that bully had to shut up, sit down in your seat, and you can't say one word because the whipping you got in your butt shut you up. And this is what I know I'm being very ghetto right there. Listen, you don't want to see my ghetto come out. Yeah, don't send them stupid demons to me, please. I beg you. I beg you. Amen. Jesus right there. Don't. You get what I'm saying? So when you know, and I'm going to express this here, that level of credibility is established. You know you have, oh God, I hear Jesus right there, access into the territory even deeper. That yes begin to open up channels where, listen, I didn't know I could be sitting at the king's table today and I have, oh my God, Dr. V, Lady Precious. What am I doing here? Are you getting what I'm saying? You know how that feels? I mean, what am I doing at this table with the governor of USA in Florida? Like, how the heavens did I got here? Because listen, your yes and that credibility into your enemy's territory is going to strip the layers, strip the curtain, remove the. Okay. All right, Lady Green. I think I need to just shut my mouth up because we might explode on this space tonight. And I'm going to allow you to just chime in right here and let me put my little get aside and behave, okay?
You were doing well. I was going with the flow. Um, I would say what transitioned me from my commitment to yes to this transformation to now
Uh-huh.
would be the in-depthness of the commitment to the assignment.
Wow.
I always been committed to the assignment, but I had to go deeper. I had to go
Mm.
um, deeper in retrospect of the devotion,
Mm-hmm.
the um, the determination of completing the assignment, and then also um, resisting the detours, talking
Mm-hmm.
myself out of it, talking myself of not only say for me the false humility, if you will, even the internal self sabotage I dealt with because of the fact that how I
Mm-hmm.
stopped myself, put myself on pause, if you will, to write. But this is what was the pivot for me. I needed to go back not just to writing, but to help other people to define their God purpose or God given assignment to
Mm-hmm.
write and to also produce, and
Mm-hmm.
then also to propel themselves to release what's inside of them. In order for them to do that, I had to start with me. I had to
Mm-hmm.
redefine myself, redefine the moment of why am I even doing this? What's the purpose behind it? What's the
Mm-hmm.
preparation? Even the plan of action, if you will, what I had to go through. The
Mm-hmm.
yes is the commitment, but the ultimate yes is through it all. I still have a yes. Through it all the challenges, the channels, if you will, even the concerns I had about going
Mm-hmm.
back to writing was a devotion I had to make to stay committed to a cause. And I believe that this is one of the things where we as women especially have to be open minded to understand change
Uh-huh.
is inevitable, change is always constant, but change could
Mm-hmm.
also be good as well. Because by me fulfilling this assignment has opened up doors I would
Mm-hmm.
never imagine even speaking before people.
Wow.
I do believe that the first interview we had back in February was my first time
Uh-huh.
speaking
Yes.
internationally, if you will. Now I do substance abuse education. That's before people that I literally don't know, but this is a different field where we speak,
Mm-hmm.
especially when you speak about your own self, your
Uh-huh.
own story, your own process of how you got from A to Z, and to help
Mm-hmm.
other people to overcome their barriers that they've been stuck in as well. So sometimes God will use us in the process of the affliction, not just for us, but to help other people as well. So that
Mm-hmm.
deep devotion of the yes, we don't know what it comes with. We just said yes to God, and but we didn't know what we had to go through just to get to where we are now. But I also believe that I yes, just like Dr. Williams stated, the credibility behind it, the
Mm-hmm.
is more rewarding than anything, because just because you had to go through it doesn't mean God left you out there by yourself. He
Come
was right
on.
there with you throughout the whole course. So I don't believe God will assign you to do something He's not gonna right there with you. So I
Mm-hmm.
believe that the assignment with me, the commitment to yes was detrimental. I wanted to talk myself out of it, but now I had to stay committed to it because
Mm-hmm.
time is something we don't have no control over. Time is something that is given to us by the grace and mercy of God. And I also believe time is something that we need to also cherish because in my assignment within the book is to help people to understand just because people label you as such and such doesn't mean you have to answer to it. But also
Mm-hmm.
it helps you to understand the process wasn't necessary for you or something you caused within your own self.
Mm-hmm.
It's also to help you become a bridge for other people to cross over as well.
Wow, that's good. Wow, I love how you say that. That last part. Our yes is a bridge. Oof, you see that part right there? Oh, I can fly on that all night. You hear me?
Yeah, yeah,
Because yes, it truly is. And I think sometimes it's easy to, for me, listen, I'm going to be very real with you all tonight, right? As much as this is an interview, and I know we can have interviews where we just talk about the book, etc. But the elements to what you've already written is already written. Persons are going to read exactly what you've written already. But the basis of your yes, the foundation of your yes, and you now have an opportunity to open up that canon right there,
mhm,
allow someone to have insight even further. This is what brings the whole idea towards being an author in such a unique space. Because when you can allow someone to tap into that space where, okay, I'm sitting with the literal pen and I'm writing, you are translating what you see via your vision in letters, in sentence, in structures. You get what I'm saying? But nobody will have the blueprint behind your mind while you write, do they? They can't see that space.
mhm,
So this is how far your yes, the blueprint to your yes goes. So I'm not going to ask you about your chapters. I'm going to ask you about your yes, because that's where the elements of where we don't see, where we don't understand, where spaces in this, yes, holds weight to, okay, how can I manifest differently here or there? How can I transact my blueprint or my DNA here or there? Are you getting what I'm saying? Okay, Dr. V, you're watching me like, ooh, yeah, I see where you're going here. Are you getting me? Because no, as I said before, it's easy. It's easy when you can sit down and just have a normal conversation. It sounds good and soothing, and then at the end of the day, you know what, ladies, I found out a lot of people are not touched by the hem of our garments. Are you getting me? It's all good when we could come in the imagination of ourselves, the writing and the vision of that space. But can they see us behind? Can they understand where we were and knitting that interaction in those spaces, those loop spaces in time? Can they can they identify, in that nakedness when you were there behind the laptop at 3 a.m. in the morning, and you're sitting there, you may not even know what to write in the next paragraph, and then all of a sudden the Holy Spirit just come with a bursting river. Boom! What was that like? Can they touch the tangibility of how that grace flowed, how that wisdom flowed? Can they and this is where we hide ourselves seriously. It's a sad thing when, I don't want to say it loud, when we don't want our yes, the blueprint of our yes, to be known. And we know within the market spaces how people can be. with their yes. Because all royalties belong to me in that space. You get what I'm saying? We don't want nobody. Okay, let me say it out loud. I'm going to explain myself really good up in here. I don't want you to know how I succeed last night. And my blueprint, because it holds all the elements to that success there, I'm going to hold it to my bosom up in here. And I ain't going to share with you. You know, okay, you see my eyes right there? No, I ain't doing that. Because we feel we are being robbed. We feel when we expose our DNA, our blueprints, we feel when we expose those spaces where our yes give us the actual realities, the manifestations to glory, we think we have to hold on there for their life. And we treasure it to a place that this is mine, this is not yours. I did the work. You didn't know how hard I sweat for this. So we think by sharing our, let me say it this way, like the world says it, we think by sharing our intellectual properties, and I'm not saying that you don't have to be careful with that, because we know we have some hurlings and some thieves, amen, somebody. But those who are genuine, those who we know that our yes will benefit. You see that part right there? We have to be careful in terms of opening up so that they can see our journey. They can learn from our journey. They can grow from our journey. And I know it comes with some heartache sometimes, but in the intimacy of those spaces, the processes matters. Are you getting me? The processes matters. All right, ladies. Woo! We've been doing good so far. You guys can breathe. You guys are all right. Yeah. You see, I'm trying to take it light, okay? I'm trying to not go too far, not too deep, but stay in a space where you can, have that balance right there. All righty, Dr. B, I hear you. So, Minister Libra, I'm grateful that you said that. When I'm hearing you echoing your process here and what it took for you to get to your yes, what the template to your foundation is, I can tell it wasn't the easiest yes you've said. Are you getting me? I can tell that it probably wasn't even the nicest place for you to say yes. But at the same time, I'm sorry?
Not at all. It was
Exactly. Because I can hear behind. This is where I know in the essence of your blueprint, your foundation here, I can hear, okay, I can hear your pain. I can hear you being real. I can see that you're not fake. You're not faking this. Your testimony here is not flawed with all kinds of, cushions and all kinds of covers. But I can see into your yes. You get what I'm saying? That's a space I want us to be. Don't be afraid to let people see into your yes. Are you getting me? You might be providing spaces here and thoughts for people like, oh my God, if these ladies could say yes. Are you getting what I'm saying? And it might look to you like it's just a book.
much bigger.
But it's bigger than just a book. You get what I'm saying? All righty. So that yes. And I know I'm going with the next question, all right? So buckle up. Look at Precious face. Come on with it, Ambassador. Come on with it. Re-rolling. This is the next space, and especially for the ladies who might be in, let's say, suppose they're in traumatic spaces with their yes. Alrighty? Let's suppose tonight that there are some who are here on and they're in traumatic spaces with their yes. They've said yes so many times, they've received heartbreaks after heartbreaks, and then may not want to go through it again. But even right now, I need you to begin one by one to speak to that person, that individual right there. But for their spirit to recognize that in the soaring element here, what their yes is going to produce in the soaring element there might be some here, and I don't know why I'm going down this ministerial space, but there are some here, and I believe, who are stuck in those spaces with their yes. And they need you, based on you saying yes, to encourage them, to strengthen them, to give them that extra push, that extra oomph. Are you getting what I'm saying? Uh-huh. What will it take for you to understand that if you say yes, this might be one of your greatest and most glorious experience or encounter? Are you getting me? This might be the moment where you are thrusted out beyond your wildest imagination. This is where you might have one of the greatest impact that you never dreamed you could ever have. What can you say to that person right now within this space who really wants to say yes? Dr. Varenda, take us away.
So as you were talking, Ambassador, to the woman, to the queen who is in a traumatic space, and you're in a Garden of Gethsemane moment with your yes, where you're wrestling with that. First of all of us on this platform have been exactly where you are. And second, I was sharing with the co-authors that I was on a flight back to Houston. And during that flight, and it wasn't but a 35-minute flight, mind you, but even in that 35-minute flight, we had some turbulence. You know, the plane just started rocking and everything. And so what I say to you is turbulence is a sign and it's to be expected when you're flying high.
Come on.
So when you say yes, on the other side of it, yes, you may experience some turbulence, but that's only because you're getting ready to soar higher than you've ever gone in your whole entire life. So I just encourage you, be like Peter, have a nevertheless. You know, in Luke chapter 5, he's out there, he's been working all night, he's tired, he's over it. Okay, I'm putting my net up. I'm over it. And Jesus comes gliding toward him and says, cast your nets on the other side.
Come on.
And Peter's like, wait, I've been fishing. This my lane, Doc. I do fishing all day, 365. What you mean, toss my... Okay, you know what? Because you said it, Lord. And that's basically, Queen, what God wants you to do. Just have a nevertheless. At your word, I'm going to do this. At your word, I'm going to obey. And what ended up happening? He had a net breaking miracle. So much so that he had to call for others to come and help him. Come on here. So you think about what's on the other side of that. Yes, it's a net breaking, record breaking.
Come on.
I mean, Ephesians 3:20 kind of experience for you, Queen. So have a nevertheless. You got it. You got it. In Jesus' name.
Ooh, I love that. Wow. Lady Precious, come on, take it home.
Well, I'm going to tell you, Dr. V just laid out a hard act to follow. But I'm going to go ahead and come on in there. And I'm just going to tell you, why say no?
Wow.
If it's in front of you and you've never tried it, why say no to it? Why are you afraid of it? Everything that we go through in life is not to break us. It keeps lifting us up to different elevations. And the problem is we're so tied up in society that we think money shows our worth and our elevation, but it really isn't.
Ooh, Ooh, come on.
It's all based on our spirit, our heart determines our actual elevation in the Father.
Wow.
So I'm gonna go back to my chapter real quick, and my chapter is about
Sure. Come
learning
on.
to accept the rain.
Mm-hmm.
Because in life, for your flowers to grow, for your
Mm-hmm.
trees to grow, for everything to grow,
Mm-hmm.
you have to have rain in addition to the sunshine.
Come on.
And so in scripture, it tells us that it's going to rain on the just
And
and the unjust.
mm-hmm.
So we have to stop saying no because we're scared of a little rain.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to have to get up and say yes.
Come on.
Because the more you say no, the more you hinder yourself from the blessing that is two steps in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
See, the enemy can't take your blessing. He can only distract you from reaching it.
Mm-hmm.
And every time you get to stumbling and falling back and maybe not, and I'm not good enough, none of us are perfect. It is by His grace and mercy that we accomplish anything. But when we
Mm-hmm.
allow ourselves to get off path, we don't get our blessing because we stopped ourselves.
Oh, come
So,
on.
so let go of the no. Stop being afraid. Let
Mm-hmm.
the chains of distraction fall off of you. No,
Mm-hmm.
you're not perfect. You might not even be worthy. I know I'm not, but I keep on pushing. I keep
Mm-hmm.
on saying yeah. And He
Mm-hmm.
keeps on lifting me up every morning. And if it's only one person that I make smile, I know it was the blessing, the words He flowed through my mouth. Nothing I came up with. It's what was poured in me. So stop saying no. Embrace your yes.
Come on.
Move forward in your greatness. Don't let the mind games of the enemy,
Mm-hmm.
the mind games of the spiritual warfare you're going through, keep you from reaching your spiritual greatness.
Wow.
It may not be a trophy. You may not hit the Black History Museum, but does that really matter in life? The things that matter are the things that the Father has placed in the priorities of life. And we
Mm-hmm.
are supposed to help others, love others. It's not really about what society makes us think it's about. So
Mm-hmm.
embrace who you truly are in Him. If you think you're scared to say, yeah, pray. Hey, guide me through this.
Mm-hmm.
Almighty Father, I don't know which way to go and I don't know what to do. And I'm thinking about saying no. And then just let it go and hold your hands out and watch and see if you don't start moving in the direction of not just a yes, but a powerful yes.
Mm-hmm.
Just try it. So all I can
Mm.
tell you, you don't know what's going to happen unless you try it.
That part. That part. You don't know what's gonna happen. Just let's give it a try. You never know. All right, Lady Green, take it home.
Um, what I would personally say to the individual, male or female, they're struggling or challenging with their yes, take it from me. No, it's not easy, but He graced you for it. He created you
Mm-hmm.
for the foundation of the world. So He already knew what you were equipped with, what you run into, what you encounter, what you
Mm-hmm.
will face, the opposition, the ostracism, the backlash, all that. He knew all that, but He graced you for it. The yes is the commitment as to Him for
Mm-hmm.
all He has done for us,
Wow.
from birth to the resurrection. I mean, He didn't have to do that for us. He was sent. He was sinless. He came blameless. He didn't do anything that caused that, but the cost He paid for us
Mm-hmm.
is our commitment to Him. And just like it was just stated, why not? And all you have endured, what you encountered, what you have dealt with, why not surrender? Why not commit to the yes? The
Mm-hmm.
yes is not just for other people. The yes is for you. because that
Come
is
on.
your yield, your surrender as before Him to say, for
Mm-hmm.
all you have done for me, the for waking us up each day that we're graced to see, because we're not
Mm-hmm.
promised any day. Why not surrender? Why not devote your yes back unto Him? Because, like I before mentioned, I challenge going back into writing and producing and editing things of that nature. But that was my devotion, and I stopped the level of devotion because of life's challenges, the hits, the setbacks, the even the hindrances and the happenings I dealt with. But the yes was still within the soul of me because of the fact I yield my will to His will. I gave my ways to Him. So
Mm-hmm.
I would personally say, just because what happened to you, what happened through you, it does not define you. So why not go yield yourself back to the Creator that
Mm-hmm.
created you, that will lead you through the process of change, that will heal
Mm-hmm.
you and restore you and revive you to the
Come on.
person that while in your becoming, because it's not going to happen overnight. Things are not going to change overnight. You're going to
Mm-hmm.
feel like you're taking 2 steps forward, you push back 5 steps, but at the end of the day, His hand is still upon you. You still
Come on.
covered. You still have that hedge of protection around you. He stated in His word He will never leave you nor
Ooh.
forsake. Just because
Yes.
people put labels on you does not define who you are. Who are you? You are the daughter of the King. You are the man of the King. You're still the son of God. That's not gender specific. But
Come on.
understand, God is still faithful. He will never let go of His word. His word still stand true. I will honestly state to that person, just looking at us women, looking at our life's journey, if you know us
Mm-hmm.
personally, you can see within us how God is so faithful, God is so sovereign. He's not respectful of persons. If He wants to bless you, He will. If He says, no, it's not time yet, you still submit to His will. But just know
Mm-hmm.
God is still the love of all things, including you. So, yes, I would state that's the purpose of the yes. That's the premise of the yes, but that's the promise of the yes. He will never leave you
Ooh.
nor forsake you.
Wow. So there's the purpose, the premise, and the promise. That's what you say.
Yes,
Wow. I love it. Yeah. Oh, come on. Say it again. There's a purpose, there's a premise, and there's a
premise and the
promise.
promise of your yes.
Ooh. I love the fact when you say, your yes is for you too. Because a
Mhm.
lot of times we think the yes from an external factor and not an internal one. So much so that it's easy to, live in the eyesight of how men may see us, how the world see us, how those who even taste success would see us. We mirror ourselves so externally and allow ourselves to truly, be in spaces of thoughts that does not necessarily depict the truth. And it's not until when we look within and begin to even question why the yes is important to us, why the yes is relevant to me, why the yes is asking me to be defined in another way, why the yes is asking me to be expressed in another version, why is the yes searching me out. Oh boy, I'm going somewhere with this, you hear me? Why is the yes look into, go beyond the sight of man, the mind of man? Why is the yes trying to cause me to recognize that there is more than this? Why is the yes trying to propel my wings to take a deeper flight? Because we're talking about this devotion being one that trusts women to soar. Why is the yes beckoning my wings to come up higher? What is in the higher realm of me that I've not touched, that I've not yet even seen, express God glory than what I saw in the last 5 years, the last 10 years, the last decade of me says, oh, Sheldon, you were great. But what if my yes in this season says that I am going to be in an exponential dimension of me? What if the yes When I soar and I go higher and I take time to commune with my Father, begin to expose me beyond the last context or the last expression of how my mama told me I should be, my daddy told me I should be, of how my brothers and sisters saw me, of how my whole village saw me, how my church saw me, how religion vested me. What if my yes in this season sets a template to purpose on a premise? Hear me well, Libra, with your terminologies here. And begin to expose me in the phenomenal nature of me that I've never seen before. What if my yes begins to answer questions mankind have been searching for? What if my yes holds merit to strategies and solutions? What if my yes holds prophecies within? Oh, Jesus, I feel Jesus right there, Lady Precious. I feel Jesus right there. What if my yes stops the futility in my generation, my cycles? What if my yes hold the greatest answer that tells my bloodline this is where it stops? My God from Zion. What if my yes begin to take a turning around and a breakthrough so that those who are coming after me can find liberation, can find freedom, can find harmony, can find balance? What if my yes begins to attest to my ancestral lines that, listen, you don't rule here anymore. There's a new general in town. What if my yes begin to tell my predecessors, listen, this is where the buck stops? You get what I'm saying? Not to be rude, not to be offensive, but what if my yes, I'm going to say this loud for us ladies, what if my yes begins to penetrate my generation in the mind of God beyond where you last saw us? Are you getting me? My yes could hold so much answers under the heavens, and we are being locked up in vaults or confined in the thoughts or word walls with men that does not have the wherewithal to the dimension of how high I can go. I've said this and I will say this over. A master's degree does not tell you how high your mind is. A PhD does not depicts how high your intelligence can go. That is under the jurisdiction of the law of men, not God. The sky is not the limit to your imagination, not even to your yes. And the depths to who you are as a human being, whether be a male or female, via the creation of God, the blueprint in there, the DNA in there, regardless to what science tell you. As a matter of fact, let me say it right here and throw it out right here. Science is still trying to define your DNA, your very cell. That's why they continue to study you, the human being, because they don't have all the answers. So if we are in the highest school of thought, the expression of science, and they still cannot define your yes and the highest altitude to your yes, they cannot go in the mind of God and unplug you and your yes. Why should you stop? Why should you fail to give yourself permission to see you in the highest frequency of you, the highest dimensions of you? All of us here on this platform, just to round it up and close out, we have said yes. And our experience have led us to a space where in this anthology, woman for woman, we are giving you just glimpses of our thoughts, glimpses of our experiences. And I say glimpses on purpose because one chapter is just a glimpse. It's not all. Are you getting me? We are giving you glimpses of our experiences, glimpses of our journey, to tell you that you have the power to say yes, even beyond where we are sharing with you tonight. Your yes goes beyond this broadcast. Are you getting me? Your yes goes so deep that it will only define your blueprint when you allow that yes to exercise you, to process you, to search you out, and to allow you to come in even into the liberation of you. That's how deep your yes is. Sometimes it's not all about others or people or crowd or the world. Sometimes I'm going to really harpoon on Libra's point here. Sometimes we need the yes for ourselves. And right now, tonight, ladies, gentlemen, wherever you are viewing us from on this broadcast, I'm telling you, the greatest element to our experience in you is challenging you to understand that when you answer yes to yourself, that's when you begin to understand where true evolution and revolution starts. When you look in you and know that you alone and your voice with God can answer in the affirmation of you and no other voice whatsoever. And you give yourself permission to journey and to soar higher. Higher. Let me say it. Higher, higher. Listen, ain't no when you say that yes, nobody can tell you how far your yes could take you. When you soar and you soar and you soar and you go from realm to realm, dimensions to dimension, nobody can stop your yes in eternity but you. And let me say it bold-facedly too. The devil can't tell your yes how far to go but you. Are you getting me? Well, I'm closing off on a good note here tonight. So, ladies and gentlemen, we've taken you through this space with us. I can feel the tension in this air. And some of us have really been given that final space to recognize, wow, man, I need to get up tomorrow morning and tell myself yes in the mirror. I'm done with all this jargon, all this excess baggage, this weight, tired of pleasing people. I'm tired. I'm sick of being, Media, sick of being tired and being tired. I'm sick of being tired. You had that matter emotion with yourself in the mirror. Okay, Jesus, I face myself right now. And I'm going to tell myself, yes, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Alrighty? Ladies, you guys have any last words? Yes? No? Because this is where I'm going to wrap it up. Woo! You all have been so excellent. I'm so grateful. I'm so thankful for you being here. Thank you so much for sharing in this moment, in this real-time present tense. If you know me, this is real-time present tense conversation. Hence the reason why I told you, yes, I know your chapters are written, but I want to go in the blueprint, in the eyesight of your chapter, beyond where you've written. So thank you for allowing me to, step into that space with you tonight, and for allowing yourself to be so free and so open, not being afraid to allow us here to share in the tangibility of your yes. And I trust tonight will be an answer to a lot of ladies and gentlemen who will listen to this after. Your yes is so powerful. And ladies, let me say thank you for your yes to yourselves. Thank you for saying yes to you, for giving you that ability to let your yes speak, even in this time and season in the kingdom of God on earth. Amen. I bless all of you and I appreciate all of you. So grateful you've been here. I know there are a lot of persons who have been on with us. Yes, I see Dr. Mogere here commenting like, woo, ladies, this is powerful and back. All righty. I've seen quite a number of persons who have been on, and to be honest, I didn't want to be distracted by looking at the comments, all right? Because I know me, if I peer over there, we're going to have a whole hilarious evening. But I want to be so focused in the whole sight to your yes, that foundational element that begins to take us into the real recognition of where we are today. We are in such a global collaboration with this phenomenal woman of God. It's unbelievable. So thankful all of us can be in our yes and experiencing how powerful our yes has been. This is a global movement, and our yes is really speaking to the masses for real. So thank you so much, ladies. I appreciate all of you. And this is where we're going to wrap up at the King's Table tonight. So grateful for your presence. Dr. Varenda Williams, Lady Precious Swan Peaks, and Minister Libra Green. I so thank you for being with me. Ladies and gentlemen, this is where we're going to close it out and say thank you. Have a great night. And I'll promise I'll get back to the comments, afterwards, okay? Blessings to all of you. Do have a great and wonderful evening. Alrighty, we're signing out now. Bye-bye, everybody.